When we hear the word emotion, most of us think of love, hate, happiness, or fear. Those strong feelings we experience throughout life. Our emotions are the driving force behind many of our behaviors, helpful and unhelpful. Just where do our emotions come from? Our brain is wired to look for threats or rewards. If one is detected, the feeling region of the brain alerts us through the release of chemical messages. Emotions are the effect of these chemical messages traveling from our brain through the body. When our brain detects a potential threat, our brain releases the stress hormones adrenaline and cortisol, which prepare us for a fight or flight response. When we detect or experience something rewarding, such as someone doing something nice for you, our brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, or serotonin. These are the chemicals that make us feel good and motivate us to continue on the task or behavior. In these instances, the feeling region of the brain kicks in before the thinking part. Sometimes the reactions of the feeling brain are so strong that it dominates our behaviors and we're unable to think rationally in the moment. Our emotions hijack our brain. While many of our emotional responses happen subconsciously, our thinking can influence our emotions, and sometimes this can be unhelpful. Just thinking about something threatening can trigger an emotional response. This is where we can manage our emotions with conscious thinking. Our emotions play a powerful role in the way we experience the world. Understanding and regulating our emotions through our thoughts and behaviors can help us take greater control of our brain and achieve our goals.
Also known by the name noradrenaline. It can be released in the central nervous system by the neurons, but oftentimes it is the medulla, the adrenal gland's main part, which produces the norepinephrine when needed by the body. Norepinephrine has two multiple roles as a hormone and a neurotransmitter. As a neurotransmitter, it plays a major role in attentiveness, emotions, sleeping, dreaming, and learning. In the nervous system, norepinephrine helps support the activation of the body's fight or flight response by boosting the body with an increase of attention and reaction time. The fight or flight response is the body's primitive and automatic response that prepares the body to fight or flee from perceived attack, harm, or threat to one's survival. For example, if one were to walk down a street and come across a bear, the first thing that one would think is the dangerous situation they are in. The bear might turn out to be just taking a little stroll with no harmful intention, but the body has registered the possible threat and the fight or flight response has already kicked in. Norepinephrine is one of the main components that triggers the body to become hyperactive in these sudden stressful situations. This causes an increase in heart rate, dilation of blood vessels, and increased blood pressure.
ممكن حضرتك تكلمينا عن ايه اكتر موقف حضرتك حسيتي بستريس فيه؟ ماشي تمام. وحضرتك ازاي واجهتيه وطلعتي بايه من تجربه الاستريس دي؟
طيب طبعا في حياتي بقى عشان حياتي طويله في الكليه وفي الدراسه وفي التدريس قابلت ستريسز كتيره، بس انتوا مش عايزين تفصيل الستريس لكن عمل ايه. لكن اكتر ستريس كان قابلته كان موقف مع حد من اولادي كان تعبان، فمر بتجربه صعبه، فدي كنت يوميها بستريس شديد ان انا ممكن فقدت شعوري واعصابي وتركيزي، وقعدت مش انا لمده اسبوع متلخبطه، مش واقفه على ارض صلبه. بعد كده بقى هديت، ولما المشكله راحت عرفت ان كنت بتعامل بالطريقه دي بصلي اكتر، بدعي اكتر، وبسيب المشكله على ربنا، فده خلاني هاديه قوي قوي قوي.
يعني حضرتك شايفه ان تجربه الاستريس دي حضرتك تقدر تسيبها بفايده؟
بفايده كبيره جدا لحياتي.
قربت من ربنا اكتر،
قربت من ربنا اكتر، من الصلاه اكتر، وبعدين بقيت اكثر هدوءا، ما بقتش اتنرفز، معاملتي في البيت هاديه قوي، ما ازعلش من حد، خلاني حتى مع تلامذتي مع اصحابي امتص الغضب اكتر بسهوله. فشكرت ربنا قوي ان انا مريت بتجربه زي كده. ميرسي ليكم.
Dopamine is a high-powered drug that is released when one eats food, has sex, does drugs, or engages in other pleasurable activities.
High amounts of dopamine can cause serious health issues including schizophrenia. Please use with extreme caution.
Perhaps it's time you tried serotonin for your depression or irritable bowel syndrome. Or maybe it's time to try dopamine for your ADHD or Parkinson's disease. Either one can be found in your body or in a pharmacy near you. Thank you.
Oxytocin, the hormone of love, versus cortisol, the stress hormone. Humans have two opposing hormonal responses to stimuli. Threatening stimuli cause an increase of stress hormones called adrenaline and cortisol. Comforting or reassuring stimuli cause an increase in oxytocin, the hormone of love. The fight or flight response triggered by a sudden threat or a stressful situation is associated with the hormone adrenaline. Adrenaline causes increase in heart rate, speeds up respiration, activates muscles, and creates hyper-alert energy. This hormone empowers you to immediately act your way out of danger. The activation of adrenaline is deemed healthy for the body at times. However, when the stress stays for long, it increases the level of another hormone called cortisol. To cope with stress, cortisol begins to break down non-essential organs and tissues to maintain blood sugar and to feed vital organs. When cortisol stays at high levels, it automatically digests bones, muscles, and joints, resulting to elevated blood fats and sugar, which are related to many disorders. The most common stressors nowadays are more likely emotional and mental than physical. Pressure from job, family problems, fear-producing media materials, and relationship issues are among the top 10 causes of stress. Even though they are non-physical threats, your body has only one response to this scenario, and that is to produce more cortisol. These emotional and mental stressors are indirectly linked to the body's physical condition. The good news is that your body has built-in mechanism for countering stress. Oxytocin counters the effects of rise in cortisol levels. The anti-stress effect of oxytocin helps your body restore your health naturally. Oxytocin also induces emotional bonding, labor, and lactation. All the negative effects of continued stress on the body and mind are related to elevated levels of cortisol. These include chronic anxiety and depression, emotional overreaction, negativity, weight gain, heart disease, high blood pressure, and weakened immunity. Oxytocin, by countering cortisol, can amend all of these conditions.